Guys, back for part number 3. Um, I'm just going to go over my notes and discuss what happened at the studio when Alan brought some multi-tracks over for a class that was in the studio to listen to. So this video shouldn't be as long unless I get on a tangent or start discussing more than what I have written down, because I don't have nearly as many notes. But we were all stuffed in kind of the studio booth, this whole class and a few of my friends, and Alan and the person who owns the studio, I believe. We were all sitting there listening to stuff, so it was great to hear it. We were at Echo Park Studio, of course I was right. Not of course, but that's what it is. And so it was around 7:30. It was that day, the 17th, Tuesday. So we listened to Don't Worry Baby. There was track 1, that was the instrumental. There was one track of instrumental. There was 2 leads, the double stack the voice vocals, and then 2 backing vocals. Brian would record tracks, then dub them on a tape. Looks like he mentioned Help Me Rhonda. It was never in stereo ever. The guitar solo, was recorded as they went. So that's very interesting to think about. I don't think I ever knew that. It looks like, I don't know why I scribbled it out, but I think either Help Me Ron, no, California Girls, when they did the stereo mix, the sound looks like Alan and Mark may have sped up the mix just a tad. This was one of the bigger things that I thought I got a kick out of. The Little Girl I Once Knew track, of course it was known as like the Carol K session. Brian had the tape to this, and he had just gotten he had just bought a 4-track, and he actually hadn't bought any new tapes to record on. So he has the finished tape to The Little Girl I Once Knew and records on it. And so we're listening in the middle of the sessions, the track of Little Girl I Once Knew, of them playing. And in the middle of it, you have Brian, Marilyn, and Diane talking, doing those jokes kind of things from Pet Sounds era that are on some Pet Sounds Unsurpassed Masters, SOTs, telling different jokes and whatnot. It was very weird that he did that. So it would go Little Girl I Once Knew track, and then jokes and stuff with Marilyn, Diane, and Brian, and then Little Girl I Once Knew instrumental stuff. Isn't that odd? I'd never heard that. I don't know if anybody else knew that, but apparently he didn't buy, another tape to record on just yet. Also, he had played, did a really not so great version of This Could Be the Night on that same tape. So he obviously loved This Could Be the Night. I mean, he covered it, it's a Spectre tune. Didn't Nilsson write it? I think so. I'm never sure of myself when I'm recording these things. Anyway, he did that in the middle of the Little Girl I Once Knew as well. And we heard it, and it didn't sound very good. I'll say that. It was very interesting, though. He did that. It was cool to hear that. The All Summer Long track was Carl's playing guitar. Carl was playing guitar on the All Summer Long track into a mic in the booth while they were recording other parts of All Summer Long. We listened to parts of, I think it was Brian on the marimba. Is that the marimba? Is the marimba at the beginning the do 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 do? Na, 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 na. Is that the marimba? I can't remember. I can't keep those straight. He had a really tough time playing on those, and actually that's probably on the Unsurpassed Masters bootlegs. Um, so he would overdub a different band tracks separate from All Summer Long. So it's very odd. Do you remember? It was piano only for a few seconds. We heard, and then All the Boys were on instrumental for that. So um, all the guys played on Do You Remember, except for the sax was either Steve Douglas or Jay Michelorod. So that's interesting to know. And Alan really backed up that the boys really did play most of everything from Surfin' Safari album to the All Summer Long album, and even so into parts of Today and Summer Days and whatnot, because Carl, played for a while, and so did Al on some tracks. Um, let's see here. Had to clean up the punch out sounds when they did the "Kiss Me Baby" vocals only. They really had to clean up the punch out sounds that were in the mix. Um, listen to Wendy. Listen to each part. Each part, 2 bass parts, vocals only, and band with drums. That's what I made. Little Girl I Want's new track. Brian making jokes. I heard him say "Wouldn't It Be Nice" on there. That was kind of neat. And then Brian overdubs himself playing "This Could Be the Night" on top of "Little Girl," which we already mentioned. Oh shoot! I just remembered something. Now I can't remember. Totally forgot that. I think of it. Oh, we were listening to Wendy. Of course, we kind of listened to take after take after take, and you hear a lot of the same conversations being had at the beginning when they took a master, and they would take, this is the master they're going to use, record over the top of that, and so you'd have some of the conversation going on from earlier every time you'd listen to it, and everyone knows on Wendy. This didn't really have to do with what I just previously said, but at the organ solo, whatever instrument that is, there's the cough, and of course I looked at my my Beach Boys friends, fans that knew the song very well, and so as it was going on, I kind of got a kind of as a joke. It was very funny in a Beach Boy geek way to reference that. I tried to do it when Wendy's played in concert too. We did listen to Vegetables 8-track, 1 track with vegetable crunching, 2 lead vocals on top of each other for verses. It was actually really cool to hear a lot of the vegetable stuff, and I don't know much about the mixing board, soundboard, whatever, but I just wish I could have the multi-tracks to play with and just hear the drums, hear the vocals, hear just the backing vocals, hear just the instrumental part, hear just the hand claps. I don't know. I wish I could just, that would be amazing. That's what they were doing. This was the guy that was in the studio. Oh, it would have been so amazing to do that. Pick out what you want to hear. I wish there was some way people out there who invent things, who are looking for something to invent something so we can listen to multi-tracks, so we can listen to vocals, lead vocals, backing vocals, track, lead guitar, drums only. It's probably going to be expensive as crap, but whatever. Something to think about. We listened to Good Vibrations. The guy who was at the studio, he knew Beach Boys stuff, but he didn't know a lot of later stuff. He saw I Was Made to Love Her was on there and clicked on that. He's like, oh, what's this about? And started playing some of that. That was cool. Messed around with the channels. Alan requested that they play Cool Cool Water on, and did a split audio track, 8-track, and so you'd have the vocals and some of the different sounds and whatever instruments they used. It was so cool to hear. Oh man, it's amazing to listen to all those tracks at once. I will say I do have a better understanding of what the multi-tracks means. What this track on top of this track on top of this track on top of this track. He did mention "Time to Get Alone" started as a 4-track and then went into an 8-track. The track is Fuzzy on the 2020 album. Loop De Loop degenerated to where you can't hear the drums. All I Want to Do, experiment with echo and reverb, 8-track. All I Want to Do, as in the Sunflower song. That's all the notes I have for that. Sorry it wasn't more, but it was really a lot of just listening. And so it was obviously a really good time if you saw the pictures from when we were around. So I appreciate you coming on my journey of listening to my saga of videos that I have all lined up down here under the screen. So I hope you enjoyed this, appreciate this, and hope you learned something new. Click subscribe me, or like something, or add a favorite, or type in a comment or something, please. It really encourages me to want to do more videos and whatnot. And look, I've got like 9 videos done in 3 weeks, so I hope you all enjoy, and we'll talk to you later.